All right.
Howdy folks, Jimmy Cavanaugh here reporting for IUSportCom, and joining me, an outstanding get, especially at 11 o'clock at night, Conrad Brunner, Pacers.com. Conrad, thanks so much for taking the time to be here.
No problem at all.
Awesome. We're standing in Conseco Fieldhouse, press row in front of us, all the seats behind us, after an outstanding game from the Indiana Pacers against the Philadelphia 76ers team that beat them pretty handily the first time out. Conrad, only a 10-point win, but really that was a game that was a little more, it was a little further apart.
It was more than a 10-point game, yeah, that's for sure. Philadelphia won that one pretty handily. George Hill didn't play in that game. And early in the year, George, even when he did play, he wasn't really, he was feeling his way into his new team. Guys try to figure out where their stuff comes from. George is not a dominant guy who's going to walk into a team and everybody adjusts to him. He's a guy that comes in and sees where he sort of fits. And within the last couple of weeks, he's really come around. He's become very comfortable with that. It's a shame he had the little tweak with his shoulder, but he seems to be playing through that extremely well. And he's been, with George back in the second unit rotation, you see the difference now, 91 bench points in the last two games.
Yeah, and you saw the strain of George Hill leaving the lineup really affect the Pacers. The bench wasn't nearly effective as it was when he was playing. You mentioned the shoulder strain. He missed a few games of that. But also, speaking of George Hill, he was pretty outstanding tonight. 17 points, hardly missed a shot from the field. I think it was 7 of 10 on the game, and played a big part in the run to put the Sixers away.
Yeah, he's actually done this a couple nights in a row now where he's been the guy down the stretch or in the key moments where he sort of takes over. It's interesting to see him doing this now because we're heading into a time where team evaluation is very intense. You're looking ahead to the playoffs. You're thinking about matchups. But if you're Larry Bird and David Morway sitting upstairs as we speak, maybe even on the telephones as we speak, you wonder, okay, is this team finished? Or are there moves that still need to be made?
Exactly. Trade deadline is tomorrow, I believe. There's a whole lot of rumors going around. Dwight Howard's coming somewhere. Probably not here.
He's not coming here.
He's not coming here.
We're not going to break that news.
Maybe we will. It just won't be accurate. But, you know, there are other players that they've been looking at. Chris Kamen's been on the log. Some people have talked Jamal Crawford. Larry Bird went public saying Danny Ainge wanted Tyler Hansbrough and a first for Ray Allen. A lot of rumors swirling. Do you see any moves being made? And are these moves that can help the team both in the short and long term?
Well, I think everything we've seen to this point has been directed toward a bigger picture as opposed to making a stopgap move to try to make you better this year or to fill a need for right now. The really interesting thing is the backup center position because with Jeff Foster's back an issue, they would have hoped that by now he would be at least playing regularly, if not heavy minutes, but at least be there when they need him. Right now, they're not sure he's going to be there when they need him down the stretch. Lou Amundsen all of a sudden has just been playing great.
He had a floater tonight.
Right out, yeah, he's throwing jumpers in. He's going up and under against guys. I think he's hit like 12 of his last 13 shots or something like that.
Insanity.
And yeah, Insanity. There you go. Lou Sanity? I don't know.
I prefer Insanity.
It does flow nicer for a broadcast, for the broadcast time. But you know, he's. If you look at it, he's too small really to be a backup center. He's 6'9". He's not going to go in against Dwight Howard and some of these bigger centers and bang around, but he's been very effective of late. And you wonder if these last couple of games in particular, he had 21 the night before against Portland, a career high, if that has him rethinking a little bit the thoughts of maybe investing in a backup center.
You mentioned that brings us back to tonight's game. First game that Indiana has won, the Pacers have won against a team this solid. The Sixers came in within rounding error of the 600 winning mark. Pacers have lost 5 straight games against those such teams. Really beat down the Sixers tonight. I mean, they played an all-around solid game, 57% against one of the best field goal percentage, the best field goal percentage defense in the NBA. Are we maybe seeing a bit of a curve being rounded?
Well, they've been streaky. I mean, this has been a very streaky bunch. They can turn on a dime. I mean, they lost 5 in a row, 4 in a row, 5 in a row, and then they immediately won 6 in a row. A lot of that was the schedule. The 6 in a row tended to be against pretty bad teams. But then they came back
Cleveland twice.
Yeah, and they played the Hornets. So then they came back and they lost 4 in a row. But of course, that was against extremely good teams. So now they've won their last 2, and you wonder, okay, are they on another streak now? But they had lost actually 8 in a row against teams with winning records, going all the way back to mid-February or early February against Utah. So I think they were getting sick of hearing Mike Wells and me ask them about losing to teams with quality opponents, because they have been giving it to us the last couple of nights about, okay, we don't care about any one team any more than they all count. No. This one counted a lot because it's a potential first-round playoff matchup, and you've now established that your bench can play with their bench, your first unit can play with their first unit, and that you can beat their defense. And those are all things that are critical to Philadelphia's psyche.
Yeah, and David West even said it a couple nights ago after they lost to the Magic, lost another game against a top quality opponent, and he said, maybe that is it. Maybe right now we're just not hanging with the good teams, and we saw a little bit different of a story here.
Yeah, much better mindset, much better mentality, a very positive sense, not just in terms of how they talk after the game, but in the way that they're carrying themselves out on the court. It's been these last 2 games have been very encouraging.
And that's about all the time we have here. I want to go home. Conrad wants to go home. But anyway, thanks for watching. We'll try to bring a few more of these. We appreciate you taking the time. Good night. Travel well. All right.